Hello and welcome to this video. So this video is inspired by Nick Lewis. He's an interior creator on YouTube and I've probably watched every single video of his for the past 3 years, so I'm a big fan. And he recently made a video about if he lost everything, these are the home items he would purchase again. So after I watched that, I was like, you know, I feel like I have a good perspective on this because my partner and I, we did end up losing everything in a house fire. So we have had to make a lot of purchases, and we have purchased some of those items again. Purchasing something again after you lost it really shows how much you valued it and the worth of the item to you. So I decided to separate this video into 2 parts. So the first part is going to be items that we did end up repurchasing, and then the second part is going to be items that I wish we could repurchase but we can't because a lot of the stuff that I collected was vintage or one of a kind. Unfortunately, we can't get that stuff again, but there are things that I still like. I just think about them all the time. Let's start talking about the items. So the first thing is what I'm sitting on right now. This is called the FK 3-seater sofa by Truck Furniture. They're a Japanese furniture manufacturer. So I've wanted this couch for such a long time. I would watch videos of people sitting on it and laying on it just to get an idea of what it felt like, because they're based in Japan. So in order to actually sit on one of these, I would need to go to Japan to their Osaka showroom. And then in 2024, I discovered that I could actually buy one of these couches in the US. In order to ship a big piece of furniture from Japan, it's just so expensive. Like, it's either the same amount as the furniture piece itself or even more, so it just doesn't make sense economically. And then when I discovered we could get it made here in Los Angeles, I like jumped on it so quick. And we only just got the couch like 1 or 2 months before the fire, and I was so excited for it. I sold our old couch. I was having people over. We would watch so much TV on the couch, and even in that short period, we made so many memories on it. And after the fire happened, I reached out. I was able to get another one at a discounted price, which is so nice of them. And people have asked, like, how do you get one of these couches yourself? So Truck Furniture, they are based in Japan, as you know, and they don't manufacture here in the US. But the owner of Truck Furniture, his name is Toke. He's really good friends with this other furniture manufacturer, designer guy named Stephen Ken. And Stephen Ken is Los Angeles based. So Stephen Ken can get the materials for the sofa sent from Japan, and then he's able to construct the couch in Los Angeles. So you save a lot on shipping costs. So if you're in the US, you can contact him through Instagram DMs or through emails. Let me zoom you out. I just love this couch. I love everything about it. The shape, it's just like a classic sofa. I love the material. I love the cushions. It's a mix of feather and foam, so it still has that like plush feel of down, but then it still holds a structure because of the foam insert. And also the corduroy material kind of helps hide that down pillow look that sometimes happens and makes things look a bit frumpy. And I also love that the couch is extremely deep. So if you take off these cushions, you can like sit really far back like that. It acts as a really good guest bed too. Or if you want to lay like this and read, this is super comfortable. I'm 5'8". I used to think I was 5'9", but then I measured myself and I realized I was actually 5'8". But if you are a little bit under 5'8", you're able to fully extend your legs out. So it becomes just like a very comfortable bed. And it's just like made of very high quality materials. I do not plan on ever selling this couch or getting rid of it. It really is one of my favorite objects in the home. And then next, I wanted to talk about our curtains. So we have the same exact curtains that we had at our old house, from the same brand, the same material, everything. We got them again because we just really loved them at the old house for a whole bunch of reasons. One of them is that the material is really good. It lets enough light in so that when you close the curtains during the day, you still have a lot of light filtering through, but at night, it's thick enough to where you can't see inside of the home. And I like privacy, so that is really important, but I also still wanted to not feel like it's dark when I close the curtains during the day too. The material is great. I think it's a linen blend. It has enough weight to it, but it still feels kind of light and not overbearing. The color is great. There's some texture to it, so it doesn't feel just like a plain piece of fabric. The pleats are really beautiful and they draw your eye up. They extend the ceiling and they also add some texture to your wall. I think curtains are like a great investment thing. Like if you're gonna spend money on your interior, you should allocate more money to things that are large because they take up a lot of space in your home and they have the most impact. So things like curtains, rugs, couches, large art. I wouldn't spend as much on small things like a little side chair or a vase. Like those things aren't going to do very much heavy lifting for you like really beautiful curtains are. So these curtains are from a local Los Angeles company called Angel Drapery. They do the installation, they do the measurements, they can cut it. And luckily, even if you're not in Los Angeles, you can still purchase them on Etsy. And then next, I wanted to talk about this Muji beanbag, and Theo is conveniently already laying on here. So this is the Muji Body Fit cushion, and we love this because it's a really comfortable cushion for us to sit on, but also Winnie and Theo love it. They sit on it probably more than us. So we used to have two, and we got them on Facebook Marketplace, and we probably had them for around 3 years, and they held their shape really well, which I feel like is really impressive for a beanbag, because normally when you think of a beanbag, it's like kind of slouchy. It's something that's in a teenage boy's room or like a basement, but these are more structured and they're kind of cube-like. So originally we weren't gonna buy them again, but then we thought about how much Theo and Winnie love to play on them. And the cushion cover is actually from a different brand called Comfort Bodyworks. They make custom covers for Muji furniture. If you don't like the covers that Muji offers, you can check out that company. Or if you're handy, I think you could sew a really cool cover for this. And the next thing that I ended up repurchasing is an aquarium, and this thing brings me so much joy. I haven't given many updates on this because I was struggling with algae for a really long time, and I normally don't have that problem, so I was trying to like sort that out. Now we got it under control, and I have so many shrimp to help me with it. They have reproduced like crazy. I started with 6 and I couldn't even find them sometimes. I'd have to search for them, but now they've had so many babies that they're like on every single surface, and I think they're really cute and I love watching them. Chris thinks shrimp are a little bit unsightly, like he thinks they look like bugs, which I don't blame him, but I find them very cute. I had aquariums all throughout my childhood, and I started to get into planted aquariums when I turned 18. So I've just had aquariums in my life for my entire life pretty much. So it just felt wrong to not have one. And I just love looking at this thing. It is probably my biggest de-stressor in my life. I just sit down and I watch my aquarium and I watch all my little inhabitants swimming around in this world that I created for them. And it just makes me happy to know that the plants are doing well, that the shrimp are doing well. And I feel like with the content that I put out, it may seem like I'm always chill and calm and stress-free, but I have a very active mind. I get anxious over a lot of things. I get nervous, I overthink. And when I feel like that, I just sit in front of the aquarium and I watch it. I watch my little critters, and it just kind of like gets me out of my head a bit. So the aquarium has been great for my mental health too. I treat it like a TV. I'll just bring the chair up, I'll sit in front of it, and I'll just watch it. The aquarium is looking pretty good. I'm happy with where it's at. I'm still waiting for some of the plants in the back to grow, but yeah, the progress is looking good. And the next thing I want to talk about is our mattress. And this is the same mattress that we had before the fire. So it was really nice, like after the fire happened, to finally get this mattress and literally feel like we were sleeping in the same bed before, because it is the exact same bed. So this is a mattress from Helix, who is sponsoring this video. So this is the Helix Midnight Luxe, and we just love this mattress. And every time, wait, let me sit back up. Every time we go on a trip or something, or we're not at home and we're sleeping somewhere else, I always just feel like I wish I was sleeping in my own bed, which is a wonderful problem to have, honestly, because I have had bad mattresses before. Oh, hello, Theo. Want to come up? And Theo loves the mattress too, because he sleeps with us every single night. So this specific mattress is perfect for Chris and I because we're both back and side sleepers, but you can get matched to your perfect mattress with the Helix Sleep Quiz. There's also a guarantee that you'll love your mattress, so they have seamless returns and exchanges on each purchase. Helix also recently sent me their Comfort Adjust cooling pillow, and I'm taking it out of the pillowcase just so you can see it, but I do obviously always use a pillowcase. I love it because it still holds its shape while conforming to my neck and supporting my head. If you don't know, when you're sleeping, you want your neck and your spine to be aligned, and everyone's body type is different, so it's difficult to find a pillow that fits you. But this one is adjustable because you can take out the filling, and the filling is so soft. I love this kind of filling. You probably don't need to make it any thicker because it's already pretty thick, but if you need to make it thinner, you can just take out the filling and then have someone check to see if your spine is aligned, like when you lay down. Okay, let me just lay my pillowcase down. Also, I have two pillows because at night I sleep with two pillows. I have one that I hold and then one that I rest my head on. And so the one that I rest my head on is a bit thinner than the one that I hold because I like a substantial thing to hold. And yeah, so it's nice that it's adjustable because I need a big pillow to hold and then a flatter, thinner pillow for my head. So because I like my secondary pillow to be like bigger and heavier, I added some of the extra filling from my main pillow into my secondary pillow. And yeah, it's pretty nice to have that kind of adjustability with it. If you're interested in getting your own mattress or pillow, head to helixsleep.com/benjiplant to take advantage of their weekend flash sale and get 27% off your next purchase. Thank you so much to Helix Sleep for sponsoring this video. This is a bit off topic, but I wanted to show you this because someone commented to use my tablecloth that I got from my grandma on my nightstand, like drape it over, and it looks really cute, right? So I'm happy I'm able to use it somewhere. And someone was like, you should just use it as a tablecloth. But the problem is that the tablecloth is pretty small, so it doesn't fit on our dining table. Otherwise, you would use it as an actual tablecloth. Now we're in the second half of the video where we're talking about things that I wish I could repurchase, but I can't really do that because they're either like one of a kind or vintage. These are things that I just think about all the time, or I see old pictures and I'm like, I wish I could get that again. I had a ton of lamps that felt very special to me and that were beautiful. I think like out of all the home decor things that I collected, it would be like ceramics and lamps and then random little objects. I had collected a lot of very cool lighting. And one of my favorite lamps was the creature lamp. That is that one floor lamp that I had that was made out of a branch, and I really like the name because it does look like a strange creature. And that was one of the first home purchases that I made that really truly felt like me in a way. And I was a bit like worried about it at first. I was like, is this too weird? Is this strange? But I was drawn to it and I kind of just like trusted my instinct on it. And yeah, I'm really happy that I got it. It was a one-of-a-kind piece by an artist named Sean Gates. And so he cut off a branch from his backyard and then he turned it into a lamp. And yeah, I thought it was just the coolest thing. Some people thought it was scary, but I liked it. And then the next lamp that I wish I could have again, I love fish, obviously. I love cool ceramics. I like rice paper lamps. And so it was just everything combined. And it was also red. It was like the color of the lamp here. Such a unique piece. It was large, it had a beautiful silhouette, it was a strong statement, and we had it on our bookshelf, and it looks so cool on the bookshelf. The next item that I wish we could get again is the rug that we had in our living room. This rug I purchased from a website called Kayo. They did like secondhand reselling of a bunch of different types of furniture. So I had a 9x12 rug from them that was just labeled as the Tranquility rug. And it was in amazing condition, a wool rug. And I tried to like look up the manufacturer of this rug because people would ask where it's from. I couldn't find anything and it didn't have any type of like branding or labeling underneath. And I miss that rug so much. It was beautiful. And the fact that I got it for only $400 is amazing because a 9x12, 100% wool rug is really, really expensive. And the business that we got it from, Kayo, I'm pretty sure they're no longer in business and they kind of went like bankrupt or they went out of business a couple of years ago, which makes me pretty sad because there were so many amazing things on there. And then the other thing that I miss are our bookshelves. We got those bookshelves also for an amazing deal. I can't remember the exact amount, but each of the shelves were under $100 each, including delivery to our apartment when we first got them. So I think we had 5 bookshelves in total, less than $500 for that entire wall of shelves with delivery. I think that's pretty impressive. It was also like my first large furniture purchase that I ever made. And I just remember when we added them into the room, I was like, this transforms the space. And it really inspired the direction I took my interior decorating. So yeah, I really do miss those shelves, and they were like the focal point of the living room and kind of like the backdrop of a lot of my videos. And the shelves also held so many things that were important to me, important to Chris, like our books, our objects, things that we collected from our travels. So yeah, I definitely miss the bookshelf. Also, having a large bookshelf like that really, I think it completes any living space or office or even a bedroom. Like, I think every home could use some type of large shelving unit where you can display books, or if you don't read books, then you can just display objects too. So the next thing are some of my plants. I have 4 plants that I think about all the time. The first one is my Dracaena reflexa, that really tall tree that we had in the living room. That was my first tree that I purchased for our home. Also remember bringing that in and being like, wow, this changes the feeling of a home so much, and like you can really transform your atmosphere by, you know, adding a bookshelf, adding a big tree. I remember after I got it, I was really thinking about how I'm going to be keeping this tree for the rest of my life, and I can't wait to see how it like spreads out and grows. And something with me about plants is that I really love the idea of having a plant and keeping it for a long time. Like, it grows alongside you when you nurture it, and this is this living thing that you take care of that's been with you through the years. And I used to kind of fantasize about being like an old man with all of my plants, and I'm like, yeah, I had this one for 50 years. The next plant is my Wolbachia mirabilis. I had that plant since 2022, so not that long, but what I loved about it is that it only had 2 leaves, so it kind of grows out. Like, imagine if you're growing your fingernails really long, it's kind of like that, and it only has 2 leaves for its entire life. And I don't know how to explain it. I suppose I like that you can see its growth over the years, because with most plants, you know, they grow new leaves and old leaves die, but this one, it kept the same leaves all those years, and it was finally growing beautifully, and it was like perfectly symmetrical, and it had the prettiest pot. And so that is a plant I think about a lot. And I could get one again. It just doesn't feel the same though. Like, I'd have to start over, and I feel like it's probably not gonna be as pretty as my old one. But yeah, that's definitely a plant I think about all the time. And then next are my kokedamas. I loved my kokedamas. I would spend every single morning misting them, watering them, taking care of them. And they also each had their own saucer. Like, either they were custom made by a friend, or I found a saucer for them during my travels. And also the moss was growing in so beautifully. And I do want to make kokedama again, but those specific ones, like, there's just one picture that I have where they're sitting on a side table all together with the curtain in the background, and they look so beautiful. And then the next plant, well, these are 2 plants that I think about. One is my Spiritus Sancti. That plant was huge. It was stunning. The leaves are beautiful. And then the other plant is my China doll. I started to get really into indoor bonsai before the fire. This is what the China doll looks like, and then this is what mine looked like. And mine ended up taking on a very different shape and form than other China dolls that I've seen, because it started to just, all the leaves and branches started to go down, and it was like kind of a droopy plant, a weeping plant. And I love any type of like weeping willow or weeping moss that I have in my aquarium. I think it's a very beautiful look, and so it started to take on that shape. And every other China doll that I've seen, they don't grow like that. So I'm wondering if mine was even a China doll to start with, or if it took on that kind of look because it was previously in like a bonsai shape and trained as a bonsai. And the last item that I cannot get again is this quilt that I got from Toast. I got it from a friend, but it was from Toast, and they do not sell it anymore. And it was the most beautiful quilt. I loved all of the colors in it. I was also struggling with trying to figure out the colors in our old bedroom at the time, because I like just painted it this muted yellow color, and then when I added that quilt in, I felt like it was all coming together. And one of my last pictures before the fire was Winnie and Theo on the quilt, and they just looked so cute. So I think back to that picture a lot. That is it for this video. Those are all the things I could think of. There's probably more stuff. I think if I went through old pictures, then I would see more things that I wish I could buy again. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring it, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.